Engineers said, just burn it. It will stop burning in 2 weeks anyway. But how has it been burning for over 50 years? Let us examine the whole story right from the beginning. In the year 1971, a team of ambitious Soviet geologists ventured deep into the barren Karakum Desert in Turkmenistan. The vast sea of yellow sand seemed empty, but Soviet planners believed an enormous fortune in oil lay hidden deep beneath the surface. With high political pressure from Moscow, the survey team searched for the ultimate energy prize. Heavy machinery and massive industrial transport trucks soon rolled across the dunes to establish a permanent drilling base. The engineers quickly constructed a towering steel derrick designed to punch through dense desert bedrock. To the geologists on site, this expedition felt like a routine operation that would secure a massive new petroleum deposit for the nation. The massive rotary drill began grinding deep into the ground, cutting through alternating layers of sandstone and dense limestone. For several days, the instruments showed stable progress with normal vibration and steady pressure levels. But without knowing it, the heavy drill bit was moving directly toward an uncharted subterranean cavern that sat under extreme geological tension. Suddenly, the drilling head struck an unexpected hollow void and dropped violently downward several meters. The drill bit had punctured the fragile ceiling of a massive underground cavern packed with trapped natural gas. Within seconds, the pressurized pocket began escaping upward, stripping away the fragile rock layers that supported the heavy surface soil above. The massive weight of the industrial machinery on the surface instantly proved fatal for the unstable ground. The sand and loose clay underwent sudden liquefaction, losing all structural strength in a matter of seconds. The desert floor began to crack and sink rapidly, creating a terrifying landslide that pulled everything downward toward the abyss. The towering metal derrick, storage structures, and heavy field equipment collapsed and were completely swallowed into the earth. When the massive dust clouds finally cleared, the workers found a monstrous crater, 70 meters wide and 30 meters deep. The drilling rig had completely vanished, leaving behind a giant yawning mouth in the middle of the desert. The destruction of the rig was only the beginning of a far more dangerous crisis. Dense clouds of invisible natural gas began escaping rapidly from the open crater floor. Composed mostly of methane, this odorless and toxic gas quickly filled the desert air, posing an immediate suffocation hazard to nearby wildlife and wandering nomadic communities. Soviet scientists quickly realized they had no equipment on site capable of capturing such a massive volume of escaping gas in the middle of a remote desert. Leaving the crater open was impossible because a single stray spark could trigger a devastating surface explosion, while letting the gas drift freely would poison the entire surrounding valley. To neutralize the danger, the engineering team turned to a standard oil field practice known as industrial flaring. By setting the escaping gas on fire, they believed the methane would safely convert into carbon dioxide and water vapor. Their mathematical calculations suggested the trapped gas pocket was small and would completely burn out within 2 weeks. A simple ignition source was thrown into the pit, and the crater instantly erupted with a massive roar of orange and yellow flames. The engineers stood back, fully expecting the roaring inferno to dwindle day by day. However, their fundamental geological assessment suffered from one fatal calculation error that changed the desert forever. The Soviet drill bit had not simply punctured a small, isolated underground pocket. It had pierced directly into the massive Amu Darya hydrocarbon basin, a colossal geological structure containing thousands of billions of cubic meters of pure natural gas buried deep beneath the tectonic rock layers. Tremendous underground tectonic pressure began acting like a giant natural pump, continuously driving endless streams of methane upward through porous sandstone fractures. The burning crater had become a permanent pressure release valve for the entire deep reservoir, ensuring the fire would continue to roar long after the 2-week deadline passed. The reason this inferno burns without stopping lies in the natural engineering of the crater floor. Deep underground, permeable sandstone layers act like a giant kitchen stove burner. Instead of escaping through a single jet, the gas filters evenly through thousands of tiny cracks across the entire stone base. To keep a fire alive for decades, you also need an endless supply of oxygen. The burning pit creates a powerful chimney effect, where rising hot air draws a continuous draft of fresh desert winds deep into the bottom of the crater, feeding the flames every single second. With temperatures inside the pit soaring past 400 degrees Celsius, the crater maintains a perfect self-sustaining combustion cycle. The intense heat instantly ignites any incoming gas before it can dissipate, transforming a simple drill site accident into a permanent geological furnace. Many people wonder why emergency teams do not simply drop millions of liters of water or firefighting foam into the crater. In reality, the extreme thermal energy vaporizes water into harmless steam long before it touches the fuel source, leaving the core fire completely untouched. Even if you manage to put out the flames, extinguishing the fire creates an even deadlier disaster. The unburned natural gas would continue rushing out, forming an invisible and odorless cloud of explosive methane that could suffocate nearby towns and detonate with a single spark. Attempting to seal the crater with heavy concrete or tons of sand creates a dangerous pressure trap. The unstoppable geological forces below would simply force the gas into surrounding rock faults, creating dozens of new, uncontrollable flame vents erupting across the entire desert floor. During the Cold War, Soviet engineers faced other massive runaway gas well infernos across their territory. Instead of using traditional firefighting techniques, Moscow developed an extreme and radical engineering solution: detonating underground nuclear bombs to extinguish uncontrollable geological fires. In the year 1966, at the Ertabulak gas field, a massive gas blowout burned completely out of control for nearly 3 years. Soviet technicians drilled a special diagonal shaft deep underground, placed a 30-kiloton nuclear warhead directly beside the leaking pipe, and triggered an atomic blast. The intense underground nuclear detonation generated massive shockwaves and extreme thermal energy. The surrounding rock layers instantly melted, crushed inward, and permanently sealed the leaking natural gas wellbore, snuffing out the roaring surface inferno in less than 30 seconds. However, applying this atomic solution to the Darvaza crater presented an impossible engineering disaster. Unlike a narrow steel drill pipe, the door to hell is a massive 70-meter open crater with gas leaking through thousands of natural fractures across a wide area. Detonating a nuclear warhead at Darvaza risked fracturing the fragile sandstone bedrock even further. An underground atomic shockwave would shatter the surrounding geology, potentially creating dozens of new radioactive gas craters erupting across the entire desert. Fearing catastrophic nuclear fallout and the danger of releasing radioactive gas into the atmosphere, Soviet authorities abandoned all atomic plans. They left the crater burning in the desert, creating a permanent monument to an irreversible engineering gamble. For decades, people believed no living organism could survive inside the fiery pit. In the year 2013, Canadian explorer George Karunis set out to become the first human to descend directly to the bottom of the burning crater. Preparing for the descent required specialized aerospace-grade engineering. Karunis wore a custom multi-layer heat-reflective aluminum suit, a self-contained breathing apparatus, and a harness woven from flame-resistant Kevlar cables. Lowering slowly across a suspended high-tension steel cable system, he stepped directly onto the crater floor. Surrounding temperatures soared beyond 400 degrees Celsius, while intense ambient noise from roaring gas vents made communication nearly impossible. Walking carefully between active flame jets, The expedition team collected soil samples directly from the scorched dirt. The goal was to discover whether microscopic life could somehow endure in a low-oxygen, high-methane, superheated environment. Laboratory analysis of the soil samples stunned microbiologists worldwide. Deep inside the burning soil, scientists identified previously unknown species of extremophile bacteria thriving happily amidst the extreme heat and methane gas. This shocking biological discovery proved that life can survive in conditions once thought completely lethal. The burning crater suddenly became a vital testing ground for astrobiologists, studying how alien life might exist on planets like Mars or Titan. What began as a terrifying industrial catastrophe gradually transformed into an international tourism phenomenon. Adventurers and curious travelers from all around the globe now journey deep into the remote Karakum Desert to witness the surreal spectacle of a massive blazing inferno glowing under the dark, starry night sky. Camping beside the roaring crater rim quickly became one of the most unique bucket list travel experiences on Earth. Local guides and tour operators set up traditional desert yurts just a few hundred meters away from the intense heat, turning an environmental disaster into the most famous landmark in Turkmenistan. Beneath the mesmerizing visual beauty lies a staggering economic tragedy. Every single day, millions of cubic meters of pure, high-grade natural gas burn uselessly into the open atmosphere without generating a single kilowatt of electricity, industrial power, or export revenue for the national economy. Over the past 50 years, energy economists calculate that billions of dollars worth of precious fuel have literally vanished into thin air. Turkmenistan holds the fourth largest natural gas reserves on the entire planet, making this continuous desert bonfire an increasingly painful and unbearable financial waste. The massive financial toll and environmental impact eventually forced national authorities to reconsider the future of the site. In the year 2022, the government of Turkmenistan officially instructed state scientists and international experts to develop an actionable engineering strategy to extinguish the flames and seal the crater. However, shutting down the door to hell is far easier said than done. Putting out the fire requires drilling expensive relief wells to intercept the underground gas flow and redirect the pressure away from the crater, leaving engineers locked in a fierce debate over the ultimate solution. What began as a simple 2-week calculation has turned into one of the longest unintended engineering blunders in human history. For more than half a century, the Darvaza crater has defied every prediction, burning day and night as an unstoppable geological furnace in the heart of the desert. Modern engineering teams have proposed radical concepts to stop the blaze, from injecting thousands of tons of dense liquid sealants to drilling complex directionally bypass wells. Yet every potential fix carries the terrifying risk of redirecting immense underground gas pressure into uncharted fault lines beneath the desert floor. The strange paradox of the crater is that letting it burn might actually be the safest option available on Earth. Raw methane traps over 25 times more atmospheric heat than carbon dioxide, meaning this roaring fire is ironically burning away an invisible ecological crisis before it can spread. Deep beneath the scorched sand, the colossal gas reservoir holds enough pressurized hydrocarbon fuel to keep these flames roaring for generations. While modern humanity can build towering skyscrapers and explore deep space, taming the raw, unyielding pressure of our own planet remains a completely different challenge. Today, the blazing crater stands as an accidental monument to that fateful day in 1971. It serves as a bizarre playground for thrill-seeking travelers, a critical natural laboratory for astrobiology, and an enduring testament to the day a single match outlasted an entire superpower. If extinguishing this fire unleashes an invisible toxic gas cloud that suffocates the entire region, does saving the fuel actually create a far deadlier disaster than letting it burn?
And if humanity spent 50 years failing to close a single hole, who is really in control? The engineers holding the match, or the planet quietly breathing underneath them?